Hello everyone, it's Christine from Hollis Hands Create. It's Friday, May 15th, about 10:15 in the morning. Welcome to my channel about cross stitch, primarily cross stitch. Maybe a few other little fun things kind of thrown in. Hope everyone is doing really well. Thought I would pop in and do an update. I haven't filmed for a couple of weeks since right before Stitch Mania began May 1st. So I thought I would come on, and I've got a few things to share with you, so we'll kind of get right to it. A couple of life updates. You know, my biggest thing is probably waiting for a haircut. Here in Texas, we're in a partial reopening state, so the salons, well, they were originally set to open this next Monday, and then it got bumped up to last week, but I already have my appointment scheduled with my particular stylist this next Tuesday, which was her first day available. So looking forward to that. But other than that, been a lot of the same. Shop's been very busy. My husband primarily is working from home. He travels pretty extensively with his job, and so all that travel has stopped, and he's been working from home, though today he actually did go into his office. There's only 5 people who work in the office, and most everybody's been working from home, so he went in today, and I think he's the only one there. But anyway, so he decided he would actually, you know, get dressed and go into the office. Told him, I said, you've been getting really used to just going to work in shorts and a t-shirt, and he's like, yeah, I appreciate that, actually. So saving us a bundle on dry cleaning. But anyway, other than that, you know, everyone in the family is doing well, and so we'll move right along here. So I kind of wanted to show all of my specific holiday decorating, as far as cross stitch and things like that, are all taken down, put away. Easter and springy kinds of things, you know, have all come down and been put away now. But I thought, well, you know, I'm going to show a couple of things that actually kind of stay up pretty much year round. I've had a couple of comments on the things that hang over in here, and I'll insert them, or I'll show a picture at the end. I don't know if I can insert it or not. If I can figure out how to insert it, I'll insert it here, but if not, it'll be at the end. Of the wall that I have of the antique kitchen collectibles, and one of the things that actually hangs in the middle of those is something that I stitched from Little House Needleworks, Milk. And I stitched on some kind of, I think it was just like a 28 count even weave of some kind. It could have been a Monaco, could have been Lugana, I'm not sure. But anyway, it was something that I had in my stash that was cream, and I actually just tea and coffee dyed it, and then stitched this and bought this little frame at Michael's. It was $3.99, there you go. And used some batting, a couple of layers actually of batting to kind of give it a bit of a puff, and pushed it into this frame. And so this hangs up on this wall over here. So anyway, I really like it, and it's kind of an antique-y type look to me, but appropriate for kitchen. And then another thing that I have stitched, and I bought a booklet, and I'm not even sure who the maker is. It was like School, maybe it could have been, was it School of Stitches or something like that? They put out several books, but they did one that were seed packets, like vintage seed packets. And so I had stitched peppers, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that, and had intentions of stitching carrots and putting them together, and so far all I've done is peppers. But anyway, it does hang in on the wall in the kitchen from about, you know, May 1st probably, you know, through August, and then September is when I pull some things down and put fall stitching up. And then the other thing, though, this stays up year round because it stays in the hallway, in our large hallway, and this is from the Victorian Sampler. And this is Babe's Honey Farm. I think you can See that? Put that up. You can kind of, life is the flower for which love is the honey. And it's the whole process from start to finish in each little panel to where he actually sells the honey. And I absolutely love this. I was a little nervous about starting it at first because it does have some specialty stitches that I had not done before, but really the directions were easy and it came out really well, and I'm really proud of it. There were a couple of little errors in it that I know were there, but that's okay. I still love it. We're actually not too far from the the North Texas Fairgrounds, and then of course Dallas has the Texas State Fair. So I did enter it into the North Texas Fair. Actually won a first place, and then it received the Reserve Grand Champion for the Creative Arts Division Award, and so I was really happy about that. And then I entered it into the Texas State Fair, and it received honorable mention. So I was really pleased with it. I wasn't sure how it would do in the Texas State Fair because you've got some pretty heady competition there, but it did, it did really well. And I know there's a couple errors, so I'm sure the judges in that particular competition were probably were able to pick out, the errors that are in it. But I really love it, and it's just so pretty. So it hangs all the time. Anyway, what have I been working on? Well, of course, Mania started on the 1st, but just prior to that, I decided as I was going through all my projects that I needed a couple more project bags. So I did order 2 more bags from one of my favorite bag makers, Nikki, from NikkisNotables. And I also thought, I have an awful lot of fabric, which I do. And so I thought, I'm going to see if I can't make my own. So I jumped on and to YouTube, and I watched Suzette from the Primitive Stitcher and her tutorial that she did for making a bag. And I was very happy, but here's my attempt. And it was really much easier than I kind of thought. And there's my inside. So I was really happy with it. I have so much fabric. I got into a real kick there for a while where I was in the Facebook group Fabric D-Stash, and I bought tons of this fabric, and I really loved this floral. So I think I got 4 yards of this for like less than $10. And then the little trim, the little lace trim, every time that we go to one of our flea markets or antique stores, something like that, I always look for sewing things, of course. And I also look for little trims and laces. And so this was on, there was probably, I don't know, I think it was marked 5 or 6 yards of this really, it's like a crochet or a tatted type trim, and it was 50 cents. So I just cut off a piece of that and put that in, and I had some success. Took me probably about 3 hours, but part of that is because I have a newer sewing machine, and I had yet to switch feet on it. And it was a little more difficult than what my old machine was, and so I had to go and read my manual, and so that took like an extra 45 minutes. So the next time I'll be able to, I think, get through it much faster. I'll probably still have to have Suzette on kind of guiding me, but I'll be able to like fast forward through several of the things. But anyway, so I was very happy with my project bag. So that was one of my endeavors. And then of course we launched right into Maynia. And as I had said on my last video, I'm kind of doing Maynia my way. So I'm not doing 31 new starts. I think I'm doing 7 new starts. And that includes what kicked it off which my friend Kristen, who's Blue Bonnets and Whiskey, and I are hosting the Berry Bowl Sampler Stitch Along. And so that started on May 1st. And here's my progress so far. Isn't it sweet? I really love it. It's on, this is PTP, Picture This Plus Vellum, and this is Heartland, and I'm using a 40 count. So I'm really happy with my progress on that so far. So this one started, I got up early on Friday morning and started stitching it so I could get my start in, because then I had a Mania 2019 start from last year that I needed to get some stitches in the evening. So, and I was very happy I did, because it was Trick or Treat Pumpkin and I actually finished it. So anyway, I was very, very happy about that. If you follow me on my Instagram, you saw my, my finish there. I'm only going to show you in this video just progress on the new starts that that I did, and then I'll talk about kind of my plans on a few of them that I did some stitching on that were brought forward from 2019 or were older starts that I'm going to keep into my focus. So the next one that was my new start was on May 5th, and that was The Hens Across the Sea, Little Gem, Sarah Spencer. And here's my start on Sarah. Isn't that nice? I really love this. The colors are, I'm trying to kind of get a better, all the lighting in our house, the overhead lighting have these amber holders, and so it makes everything look a little yellow in this house. At some point I want to switch out all these light fixtures. And so, very happy with Sarah, and she's in my cat bag from NikkisNotables. My next new start that I did was on the 10th, and that was, let's see, little Redwork Pinkeep, Stacy Nash. And here's my progress. So the bottom two lines are finished. And I'm using Manor Red on Winter Brew by R&R. And I'm very happy with this progress. So I think that if I actually give this like a couple of days, I can get that one finished. So happy about that. And then my next start was the kit from Samplers Not Forgotten, Sweet Finch. Can you see that glare off there? And this is a complete kit, including finishing fabric in the back. I did not iron this. Anyway, here's my start. So I was able to get the bird all stitched and a big part of the branch. So again, this is going to be one that is going to stitch up, really fast, because this I just did in like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. I started it on Tuesday night during our Zoom stitch group, but you don't tend to stitch just a tremendous amount. You do some, but you're doing an awful lot of chatting. So after the Zoom meeting was over, I actually sat down for another 45 minutes during the news and a little Jimmy Fallon, and actually went to town and kind of tried to finish up some more of it. But anyway, so that'll be another one that I'll keep in my on my immediate radar or in my focus and get it finished, because that could be something that I'll go ahead and finish up as the little pillow and put it into my dough bowl and have then something that sits out like from May till, you know, to August, and that's not a holiday type of stitch. So happy with that one. So those were the new starts that I had in the first 15 days of Mania. I still have 3 more starts that will be coming up in the last half of Mania. So actually 1, 2, 3, no, that was 5 and I have 3. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Gosh, I'm losing my mind here. The Berry Bowl Sal keeps throwing my numbers off because that was a stitch along start rather than necessarily a Mania start. So it kind of throws me off every time I look at it thinking, well, how many did I actually have? So, but in the first 15 days, there were some things that I put some stitches in that were brought forward either as an old start prior to last year's Mania, or something that was brought forward from last year's Mania that was not finished that I put some stitches in on its particular day for this month. Some of those went back into my whip basket, but a few of them I'm gonna actually keep in my current basket by my stitching chair because I really want to go ahead and get them finished. And I'm just gonna show you what those are, because that kind of just goes right into, you know, into plans and what my plan is. So I actually worked on this one last night. And I hadn't worked on it at all since last year Mania's start. So, and I was like, why have I not stitched this? But it's Love Thy Neighbor from Plum Street. I really love this. I love the colors, everything. So this is where I finished last night. All I had done from last year was the stem and a couple of the darker green tops. I think 3 of them, because I had to add this one last night. And then I added the gold bottoms and then did the most of the flower. I still have to do where it's white, that will actually be, you know, filled in, so I still have to do that. But this one I'm keeping in my current whip basket that sits next to my chair to be able to pull out and see if I can't get a finish on it, because that again is another one that will go on my stitch wall that will stay up. So really love that. And then the next one that I did some work on, what day was it? Last Saturday was Where Liberty Dwells. And I had the tiniest of starts on this one. And all I had done was a little bit of the bunting and the outline of those top 3 windows, and that's it. So on last Saturday, I was able to get the house, with the exception, I still have to fill in a couple of the windows, but the bird, and then I started on the Ohio Star. So this one I'm also gonna keep in my current basket, because I think I can get this one finished so that it'll be ready to go for decorating here pretty quickly for patriotic decorating. So very happy with that. And that's in my other new bag. Cover this. My other new bag that I got from Nikki. Isn't that pretty? And it's kind of showing up a little more pinky than it really is, but it's more like the Manor red color, actually. I really love it, and for this particular stitch, it just seemed to go really well. So that one's gonna stay. I got some good progress, so it's gonna stay. I think I can get a quick finish on that. And then this is actually my Friday night stitching. I'm anxious to get back to this. I've shown you guys this one, the start and the work that I did on it. This is my Friendship Sampler, and I haven't done anything, I don't believe, since I showed it to you last, but I'll give you just a quick peek. Anyway, this is my Friendship Sampler. So it's gonna get some stitching tonight. And I'll show you. The picture she has is just kind of a printed thing off a copier, so it's not real great. But you can see I have quite a lot done. So I should be able to get that one done pretty well too, pretty quickly. So very happy with that and anxious to get started on it tonight. So this one's gonna stay in my current whip basket as well for to be a focus piece. That one probably quicker even than the others because I'd like to get it sent off to have it framed. I'm gonna try total framing. Everybody raves about it. My friend Becky, who socks from Mom, she just got some pieces back, and so she's part of my stitching group, my virtual stitching group, as well as part of the guild that I belong to here in DFW, and she just had some pieces done and raves about them. So I'm gonna send that one off as my first framing project with them. So I wanna get that one finished as well. So anyway, so that's where I am on my Mania progress. I have a Blackbird American Eagle new start that is tomorrow. I have a new start next Wednesday, the 20th. A new start on Friday, the 22nd. So 3 new starts, but also then some other projects that, you know, I'm anxious to kind of get some stitching done and go from there. So let's see, next. Haul. I don't have a tremendous amount in the way of charts that's haul, but I did just get this end, Jane Fittis, which Nicola is doing a stitch along on a Facebook group, and isn't that gorgeous Scottish sampler? I love that house. And this bird, he is just fantastic. So this is that one, and then Beth Twist from Heartstings Samplery just released the Mary Pearson sampler. Isn't that gorgeous? That is the antique that's on the front, I believe. But the nice thing is she released it in book form, the way that she did her Consider the Lilies. And she did a limited release in book form of Eye on the Sparrow. And I really like that she's doing these bigger samplers in a book form. It's really nice. So those two I actually intend to stitch at some point. Jane Fittis, maybe sooner than later. I am really taken with that, and it is just beautiful. I can't start it right now. I probably should maybe do it with the stitch along, but I've got so many other things that I really need to get stitched first before I jump into something like that. The next thing that I have that I have been one that's not real great about putting my floss onto rings or anything like that, and I'm just going to show you what typically will look like in a project bag, and I should be embarrassed to show you that, but there you go. They all just kind of go right in. So, excuse me, one of the things that I thought, you know, I should really start getting these onto rings. It'll be much nicer, and I'm not digging around in there. So I went onto Amazon, and I found a listing. If you put in book rings, and these come kind of like, it's considered, I guess, loose leaf binders. I found a listing for 40 of them, and they're in assorted sizes, which is kind of nice. So those are 2-inch, a 1.5 inch, and a 1 inch. And I thought, you know, that's great because you don't always need a really big one. And this was like $5 for 40 of them. So hopefully those work really well. We'll see. I just got them delivered yesterday or day before. But the big thing for my haul, and I have been on a fabric craze, and I'm going to show you some of them. here you go. Here's this lovely stack. Isn't it beautiful just to look at it? I ordered from Color and Cotton some 2 fabrics and some beautiful threads. And I tried to kind of pick, this was not like a pack, I picked individuals, but I tried to kind of pick some that would give me something from every color. And then I also picked out aged paper and toasted coconut. Let's see. Again, boy, it's tough to get it to really, oh, that's a little better. Get that focus there. So I got a ½ yard of aged paper and a fat quarter of the toasted coconut. So anxious to try those. Then I hit the mother load of Lakeside linens. I'm on an ordering list with Acorns and Threads, and Janine has called twice, so I've had a couple of shipments as they've gotten some things in. And it's funny, whenever my phone pops up and says Acorns and Threads, I'm so excited. And this last time that I was talking to Janine, and she said, you know, nobody was ever this excited to hear from me in my old job. And we laughed about it. But anyway, so the first thing I said to her was, this going to be a good call? And she said, yes. And I was like, yay. So anyway, I got in some delicious pecan butter. You see that? Isn't it gorgeous? Very happy with that. I got in some vintage chantilly cream. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful neutrals. Some vintage pearl barley. You always need that for something. Some vintage buttercream. I have some regular buttercream, but I kind of wanted some vintage because I've been stitching more or getting into more of the samplery type stitching, and so I really kind of wanted more of that vintage. And then I got in some vintage light exemplar, which, you know, you have to have in your stash. So that was very exciting. Those are like gold. I belong to the Victorian Motto Fabric Club, Linen Club, and I think quite a few people have shown this, but I hadn't shown it on my last. I forgot to show it on my last one because I was just trying to focus on Mania. But I got in, I get a couple of cuts, different sizes, and in both 36 and 40 counts. So parchment, which is really beautiful, and that shows pretty good right there. That's really a beautiful fabric. And then this last month, it was vintage sampler. So it's a little more gray. Try to get that the right color. But that one is beautiful too. I was very happy with that month's selection. And then from XJU Design, I'm going to show you what I'm stitching my Friendship sampler on. Is the first XJU Design linen that I have used, and I'm very, very happy with it. And it's this particular one. It's lamb's wool. It's a 40 count lamb's wool. And boy, it's hard to show this. It's a little more buttery than what's showing up on here, but it is so soft, and the weave is really nice. It doesn't come apart when you're stitching, like the holes don't come loose. It's really nice. So that's that one I would highly recommend. And then I got a 40 count baby sheep. This one is khaki sampler. So I thought that was kind of nice. Sometimes you need some fabrics that are just have hints of different colors, and that one's got the green gray in it. because you just never know. Like where Liberty Dwells, I'm stitching that, like she shows it on more of, you know, the tans. I think Autumn Field is what she stitched it on, but I picked Feldspar, which, you know, from Picture This Plus, which is that, you know, that light mottled gray with just a little bit of a tan worked into it. So sometimes you know, the colors lend themselves to something like a green or a gray or, you know, blue, even if the model's not stitched on that. So I've been trying to kind of order just different things. Here's another one from XJU, which is called Little Bunny. And then this, I've got light hazelnut. Now I got this one from Kitten Stitcher specifically because this was done specifically for Ann Uffendale, and I do have that chart, and so that one is reserved specifically for her. And then I had Baby Sheep. Now here's Old Sheep, which is really nice. There's no modeling to this. It's just a really nice kind of solid color. And then Misty Smoke. And this one does have a little bit of modeling in it, but not much, just a little bit. So that's really nice. We'll see how that, it looks like it would be kind of a thin weave, but it's really not. It's a Zweigart base, but it's a 36 count. And then the last one that I had gotten in from her was actually another color and cotton, and that was Caraway, 40 count Caraway, which is really pretty. And now this is showing up gray, but I don't know if I can get this color to show up, but this is actually got some almost like a really pale grayish mauve kind of color. Anyway, beautiful. So that's my haul where I tried to corner the market on all the fabric in the world. So excuse me. Next, let's go on to some stitchy kindness that I received. Becky, who is Socks for Mum on Instagram, and also she has had an Etsy shop, which I think she's closing, but she is doing some thread drops, and now she's doing them on Instagram, and she I think started she's got her Socks for Mum, but then she's got Socks for Mum thread keeps, and as part of our little group, she sent me let's try this again, see if I can do this without dropping everything. Isn't that sweet? I love the tomatoes. I have a fairly good tomato collection as well, and the little stork scissors. Oh, here you can see. Aren't they sweet? So she sent me that, and then for Kristen and I, she, because we're hosting the Berry Bowl sampler, she actually did this one as well. Now that Berry Bowl is actually from the Lucy Calcut sampler, and she said once we get some stitched up examples from the Berry Bowl, then she'll actually do one with those pictures as well. So anyway, I thought that was just, you know, super sweet, and she sent the nicest little postcard. Says, we didn't get to see Texas bluebonnets this year, so here they are. And she had a picture of the Texas bluebonnets, and had it put, using Zazzle, had it put onto a postcard, and I just think that's the sweetest thing. It says, sending you stitchy love, love Becky. Isn't that sweet? She's really the nicest person. So that was really nice. And then about, I don't know, 6 or 7 days ago, I went out. Now I get packages quite a bit. Most days, actually. My postal person loves me. And there was a couple boxes, so I brought them in. And then there was one, I was like, oh, okay, I don't know who this is from. So it was a pretty good size priority box. So I opened it up, and there was a whole stack of charts and things. And one of the ladies who has kind of become a friend, who doesn't live super far from me, who ordered through my shop, her name is Linda. And so she's so close that I said, you know, I hate charging you shipping. How about, you know, when you place an order, just let me know and we'll just meet and we'll have lunch. So we've done that a couple of times. Unfortunately, with all of the COVID and everything that's going on, and then she has some health issues, so she's not going to be able to be out and about for a while. We haven't been able to meet, so she still has ordered some things, but I've gone ahead and mailed them up to her. But anyway, so she sent this whole box of charts, and then had some other notes in here, but also said, you know, please feel free to do whatever you'd like with these. Keep any you want or give them away. And I just was floored. I couldn't believe it. So just the nicest person. And so what I'm gonna do is I did go through and I did pick out a few, you know that I will stitch and that I kept, but there's like quite a few. So what I'm gonna do, because there were some that were seasonal, I'm going to give away, and I'm gonna do the first giveaway today, and this is courtesy of my friend Linda. And I'm gonna do three different giveaways. So you're gonna be able to choose, and you can choose all three, but you can only win one. So if I draw your name for one of them, then that's gonna, you know, pull you out of the running for the others. But anyway, so she sent me Where Liberty Dwells, which of course you just saw that I already was stitching this one. So Brenda Gervais for With a Needle and Thread. So that will be one. If you're interested in this one, say Liberty. She sent me somersault boxes from Plum Street Samplers. And if you're interested in this one, in your comment, please reply using something with salt boxes. And then she sent me two Luhu stitches, the little Patriotic Fling and the little Summer Fling. So these two are really small, both summer, you know, patriotic. So what I'm gonna do is actually put these together. So this will be one giveaway with two small charts. So if you're interested in these, in your comment, please say Luhu, L-U-H-U, Luhu, and I'll search for that. So, as per usual with giveaways, you know, be at least 18, or have your parental, you know, permission. Please don't mention freebie or giveaway or something like that in your comment, and I'll draw for these next time. So again, you know, thank you so much to Linda. That's just the sweetest thing. And I will feature giveaways from her probably for the next few videos. She sent, I think there were like maybe 12 or 13, you know, charts in here. So anyway, just the sweetest person. So thank you to her. Last thing, and if you're interested, that's you can hang out, and if not, that's fine too. Last thing I'm just going to go over real quick. There are lots of new items in the shop. I'm not going to show all those things. I used to have a section of the shop called New and Coming Soon, and then I started adding like other things like Market, and then I reset up how my charts were done. Instead of just saying like cross stitch patterns, I split them out into seasons and then general. But I also realized that if you get new things, sometimes that makes it hard to find that new item. So I went back and redid everything and added a new section. So if you're interested in any of the newer items, they'll be in there for a while, and then they'll get pulled out and go back into the regular sorting bin. The other thing is I've had quite a few requests for gift cards for the shop. So I created a section called gifting and completed items. So there are some things in there that are actually completed that can be purchased and given gifts. But there's also the option to purchase gift cards for the shop. So you can check that out if you're interested. And then the last thing that's going on right now, which is date sensitive, so coming out with this announcement now, I did post on my Instagram, and I also have in my shop announcement information on it, and this is the With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais' upcoming event, the Women of the Mayflower, which starts September 6th for 66 days of stitching to coincide with the 66 days of travel from the time that the Mayflower launched until it landed in Plymouth. And everybody's been very excited. If you're interested in that, you can go on to the shop, and you can take a look at the announcement where I give you general information there. And also, but I've had some people just say, can you send me more information, and I'm happy to oblige with that. And I've typed out more information on that, but basically I'll give you a quick rundown. Basically, she has done a kit which is going to include the chart called Coming to America, Women of the Mayflower, a self-adhesive sampler label that you can sign and date to the finished sampler with, the Pilgrim Lady Needle Anchor, so it's a cute magnet to, for your needle nanny, a piece of cotton backing fabric for a free bonus chart that she's going to actually include as well. And it's something that was designed specifically for this project, that's a reproduction of William Bradford's handwritten journal, which is completely cool. And I believe one of the ladies who actually has already messaged me to sign up, her husband is the descendant of William Bradford. So how cool is that? And then the last thing that comes with this kit is a custom printed box to house all the items, which of course she says doubles as a project box to keep everything safe while you're, stitching the sampler. So that's what's going to be in what's coming from Brenda. And then I'm in the process of gathering all of the overdyed flosses that she calls for. There's also, I think, some DMC, but the overdyeds, and then is the linen, the country mocha linen. And just waiting on a few things. Linen from Zweigart right now is, I think, getting harder to get because it comes from Germany. So some of that is back ordered. And I think I'm waiting on one more floss color, and then I'll have all the floss together. And then when that all arrives, I'll put those in the shop as optional listings that you can purchase if you're interested. So sign-ups for that end in mid-June, probably around the 15th. So we have about a month. If you're still interested, you can just send me a quick message. You're not paying anything right now. You won't pay until June 15th when I actually have to place orders for the kits. So anyway, I think I got through everything that's on my list. I hope everybody is doing extremely well. I want to say thank you if you've commented or subscribed to my channel. I really am very appreciative of that. I wish everybody, good health and safety this next few weeks and months as we still could kind of continue to navigate what's happening in our world. Anyway, so take care, have a good Friday, have a good weekend, and until next time, create every day.